In this video, we will look at understanding differences between a data center and the cloud computing. We will begin with understanding what are the benefits or the drawbacks of a data center and which paved the way for a cloud computing to be picked up. And we will look into various benefits for a company or an enterprise when they are looking to go to cloud. And finally, we'll end with understanding the shared responsibility model, which ensures the business uh, continuity and business applications are up and running, while the cloud provider takes care of majority of the services required for the application data to run.
Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Chaitanya and you can call me Chai. I have more than a decade and a half of experience with software development as a developer, tech lead, architect, and various other roles around designing and delivering software products.
Before getting started with the Azure cloud, the first thing we need to understand is the physical infrastructure of Azure and how Microsoft manages the Azure infrastructure across the geography. So we will begin with understanding how my Azure uh, defines the locations and how they're grouped so that we will get a good understanding when we get into the application services and decide how to use the same. So the physical infrastructure is basically it begins with every like Azure is available across all the regions, and here I have listed some, but it is more it is available in many more locations. So a region is actual geographic location where the data center Azure data centers are available. It starts from United States to Asia, Europe, Australia, China, right? So these are some of the regions where the data center are available, and every data center or every region has a region pair. A region pair is a group of two data centers in a particular region, which is at a distance of approximately 300 to 400 kilometers. So which means that a pair is what we use to define the configurations of, like, let's say, such as backups and replications that you want to do. So a region pair is useful to ensure the data is backed up in the pair of that particular infrastructure. And Azure region is one of the location where the data center is available. For example, in United States, North Central US and the Central US is two regions, and they both could be a region pair, right? So Azure region is actual physical infrastructure, physical data center in a particular location, and every Azure region has something called availability zones. So these are the availability zones will define the again it's a zone level backups and zone level uh, dependencies and backups that you can configure, which will go here. So example, you can have a availability zone in a particular data center, and you can replicate the data in a particular in an adjacent or a closer availability zone, or pair it with a region pair, or backup with other region pair level, or a cross regions geography redundancies. So the key part of physical infrastructure is understanding of the region pair and availability zones. So that will determine when we get into the services and applications. This will determine you will use this information to determine your backup strategies, dependent application strategies, and everything. So the next part is how our infrastructure, how our resources uh, grouped or categorized in Azure. So before we go into some of the key terminologies, A compute resource is typically the actual service or resource that utilizes infrastructure. It could be your database, your Azure service, your app service, or any other services that we use, which could host your application or host your data. That's a compute resource. Resource group in Azure is a kind of a container which can group multiple compute resources and as part of the particular resource grouping. Resource group could be grouped by location or based on your application. So it depends. You can group your resources based on your need. And subscription is the top level entity wherein the billing happens. So every subscription can have multiple resource groups, and your costing or billing will be done at the subscription level. Finally, management group is basically you grouping your subscriptions across your organization. For example, your HR and finance can have their own subscription, while your development and production can have two different subscriptions of their own, and they both can grouped under management group of the IT and development and support groups. So the management groups allow you to manage multiple subscriptions. And if you look at, if you just to understand the hierarchy of these resource infrastructure, so at the topmost you have the management groups. As I said, you can have a management group like IT and dev, and a group called support, and every managing group can have multiple subscriptions. Now, because of IT and dev, you can have a dev subscription and a production subscription, and every subscription can have resource groups and resources defined. So, typically, we understand and set up these subscriptions based on the organization, based on the need, so that you could uh, track and manage the resources and the costing accordingly.